You don't have to, it's fine. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to our out-of-state students at ATU session. I'm going to give everybody a little chance to get their audio connected so they can hear us. And then of course we have a few other students who are trying to get in and join as well. Perfect. All right, well, hello and welcome. My name is Kristen. I'm going to be the moderator and lead presenter for today's session. And then I also have a lot of other speakers joining me. And we are just people who have ventured from our states to Arkansas to be part of the Arkansas Tech fam. So I'm going to go ahead and start. If everybody can see this presentation, I'm going to go ahead and get it rolling. So hello, this is me. My name is Kristen. I am from Sulphur, Louisiana, originally. So that little smiley face down there is where I'm from. When hurricanes hit the coast, I and my family and my community are the first to know. And then next up, we have Riley. So go ahead and take it away, Riley.
Hi, I'm Riley. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I also, same thing with the hurricanes. We get that a lot here too. But I'm a senior at Arkansas Tech this year.
Okay, good deal. So there, smiley face once again, you can see where she's from. A lot further away than I am from ATU. Emma was gonna be joining us. She's from Pennsylvania, but she's over there right now, and there was a big storm that actually cut out her electricity. So she was unable to join us today, but she ventured all the way from Pennsylvania, and she works in the same office as I do. So we love her, but we're gonna go on Gabby.
Hello, I'm Gabby. We don't have like hurricanes and stuff where I am from north, but we do have tornadoes. I'm a senior and I'm majoring in public relations and speech communication, and I'm graduating this December from Tech.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabby. So that's where she's from, Texas. We love Texas. And next up, we have Glendon.
Oh boy. Howdy, I'm Glendon Van Sant. I'm from the great big town of Kansas, Oklahoma. It's about 800 people. But I am a Parks and Recreation major. And yeah, I came here and enjoyed a whole lot. So.
Good deal. I think that's all the slides I have. Also, we have some other speakers joining us that I did not include in the PowerPoint presentation. So Amanda, if you'll introduce yourself for us.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Amanda Hampton. I'm from Marietta, California. It's about an hour south of LA. I'm going to be a senior this next year at Tech, and I'm an English and creative writing major.
Awesome. And then I have some others, Sabrina and Meredith, if y'all will go ahead and introduce yourselves as well.
I am Meredith Lawson. I'm the Associate Director for Recruitment here at Tech, and I am from Birmingham, Alabama.
And I am Sabrina Billy. I serve as the Assistant Director for Transfer Recruitment, and I am from Poto, Oklahoma.
So as you can see, we're kind of from everywhere, which is awesome. And now we'd like to hear from you guys to see where y'all are from. So feel free to unmute yourselves, turn on your videos, and let us know where your hometown is.
So my name is Hamza Saleh. I'm an international student. I'm from Sudan, but I'm living in Qatar. So yeah.
Okay.
I think that sums it up.
Yes, I think you get the award for furthest student for sure. That's
21 hours by airplane. Yeah, so it's a long way.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you for joining us. All right, and thank you for starting us off.
You're welcome.
Who else wants to go? Justin, Charlie, Cheryl.
I think they'll pass.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody else?
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Justin McKeever. I'm from Plano, Texas, so not too far away from where Gabby is. Don't really get much of the tornadoes here, but I mean, I've seen them on the news, and I'm glad I am where I am. But I'm glad to be coming to Arkansas. I'm ready to get out of this state.
Hey, North Texas is nice though. There you go.
She's not wrong. Things are cheaper here though, I gotta say, in Arkansas, including the cost of college, so in the right spot. All right. Cheryl, would you like to say something? I don't know if we've heard from you. Let me check the chat. Just give her a second, just in case she needs to find her unmute button. Those things can hide when you least expect it. Got some things in the chat. Amanda. No problem. Okay, Amanda joining us is from Oklahoma. So I don't know how close Edmond, Oklahoma is from Kansas, Oklahoma, Glendon. Do you know? No, Edmond, isn't that right next to?
It's pretty.
It's
a couple
Edmond
hours,
is north of Oklahoma
probably
City.
2 or 3.
Isn't it near like Stillwater-ish, Norman?
Kind of over there. Little further in, a little further to the west than Kansas, Oklahoma is.
Yeah, Edmond is just north of Oklahoma City. And yeah, an hour from Stillwater.
Stilly, go vote.
As the locals call it, Stilly. All right, well, cool deal. Thank you guys for sharing. Love it, love it. All right, so yeah, we're from everywhere. Right here is a screenshot, not a screenshot, a drone view of Arkansas Tech University for those of you who may not have visited before in the surrounding area. So as you can see, if you've ever been to Arkansas, it's beautiful. I honestly believe it's like the hidden Eden. It's very underrated, but it's very beautiful. And we have a couple of mountain ranges and tons of waterfalls. So beautiful area and inexpensive cost of living, which is really nice. But yeah, this is a short session today, so we definitely want to tailor it towards you guys. I do have some questions prepared that are, pretty big questions that a lot of students have coming to a school out of state. But feel free in the chat to ask your questions or unmute yourself and just ask at any point. This is just going to be a casual conversation among friends. So my first question, and all of my speakers can just pipe up and answer this, is what have you loved most about Russellville or Arkansas, or what has been your best experience at Tech?
I can go first. So I guess I can kind of do a two-part question here. Justin, I guess we'll get this because he's from Plano. I'm definitely from a bigger city. There's like 10 high schools, and went to school in Frisco, so there's a lot of high schools where I'm from, and there's just a lot of people. So one thing about Russellville was it's a lot smaller, which I kind of took for granted at first. I was just very like, there's not a Target here, but that's okay. But I kind of made the most out of it, and instead of, sure, there not being more entertainment options in Russellville, I wanted to kind of get the big fish in the small pond that Tech kind of gives us, and I just got involved. I was in the session yesterday about kind of what you need to know with involvement and stuff like that, and that is probably my best experience, was getting involved. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. All I knew was my roommate. So my best experience was definitely just kind of seeking out different opportunities to get involved in clubs and organizations, working on campus, things like that.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with Gab on that one, and saying that I came from a bigger area as well, being that I'm, so close to like Los Angeles and San Diego. Those towns are bigger than like the entire state of Arkansas. So it was definitely a change that I had to get used to. But I think Gabby put it well when she said big fish in a little pond. And the best thing about being there is most definitely the community. I've made some of the best friends that I know I'll have for the rest of my life, that I consistently talk to. And even though I'm on the other side of the country, they put an effort, and you'll hear the phrase Tech family so much, but it's so true.
Oh, I can also kind of relate to them when they said they came from a big area. Like, I came from like a very big like city area. There's not like a whole lot of things to do outdoors. Obviously there's the beach, but that's all I knew. Like, I've never like been to the mountains before or anything like that. And so my friends at Tech were like, "Oh, we should go hiking." And I was like, "What do you mean hiking? Like, we don't do that here. That's not something that happens where I'm from. We have like walking trails, but they're like flat. Like there's no hills or anything like that. So like that was something that I really, really enjoyed about like the area around Tech. There's mountains like 30 minutes away, and there's like really great outdoor like nature areas like within walking distance of Tech. And I really, really enjoy that part about Arkansas.
Yeah, definitely. I love the Bonadilla and different biking trails that we have. If you like to bike, or you can hike on some of those as well. But there was one time I got caught in a torrential downpour and I was stranded. I ended up making it to the Tech campus, but completely like no visibility. But yeah, if you're an outdoorsy person, they're right in our backyard. There's lots of things for you to do. So we love the natural beauty of the natural state. Next question, guys. So what was your most difficult experience? Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to pipe in one little thing that I just recently experienced, because y'all know, or some of y'all know, I've only lived here a little less than a year. And I have lived in the southern part of the state as well. But here, they're talking about all the mountains. There's also water everywhere, enough that a month after we moved here, my husband was like, we're getting a boat. Like, there's literally water everywhere. And just recently, we were out on the boat, bald eagle flying around. That doesn't happen in the city of Birmingham, Alabama. I don't know about where y'all are from, but that's like super, super cool.
It's true. Okay, so the next question, what was your most difficult experience in attending an out-of-state college? And then also, like with that, do you visit home and how often?
I think my most difficult experience was not having any peers. And granted, where I'm from is only about 5 hours away from the campus, so it's not, Amanda's situation where she has to fly home. For me, I can just drive, and I mean, sure, it takes a day to do, but that was one thing, was I felt like I didn't have any family or friends. So like, worst case, if something crazy would have happened to me, I was like, my mom wouldn't be here if I got super sick, or like if I broke my leg or something. But one thing that has definitely changed from my freshman year to now my last semester of college is my first semester, I went home every week, every 2 weeks, and I put about 15,000 miles on my car within the first semester of college, which is ridiculous. Don't recommend doing. But like I said, getting involved was definitely, it made me feel like, okay, I can stay in Russellville for a weekend and it'll be okay. Like my mom, and with every quarantine thing happening now with video calls, I'm like, oh, I can call my mom whenever I want and we're good. I can go a year without seeing her. We got Zoom.
Year.
I mean, whatever. I say that as I'm in her house right now, so never mind. But definitely visiting home has changed for me this past semester. Before we moved home, I had only gone home once. Some semesters I go home 5 times. Some I only go home like twice for holidays. I know with Amanda, her situation's probably different, but that's just personally for me.
Yeah,
That was like a lead in. Amanda, you're welcome.
Yeah, Gabby was like, Amanda, go ahead and speak. So here I am. But I only go home for Christmas and summer. And I don't know, it's different, but nice. Like at first I would come home every time and I would say, like, I'm never going to leave. I don't want to go back. All of this. And I would have all of these tantrums and fits and cry about, like having to make that distance and having to make that change. But as Gabby said, once I got involved and once I got jobs on campus and leadership roles, I kind of started to be more like, when can I go back? Because everybody I love, everything I love doing is there. When I'm here, it's like, yeah, I have my friends from high school and everything, but it's just a different change of pace. But I know a lot of people that had similar situations to Gab, where they like would go home so much and then eventually like you lessen up on it. But I just think that it's a growing curve. You have to figure out what works for you. And I still know people that go home every weekend and they love it and it works for them. But yeah, it's just something that you have to reflect and see what works best for you personally.
Anyone else want to chime in? Riley?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Amanda. I don't get to come home very often. Like I usually only go home for like Christmas maybe. But I work off campus, so usually I'm there all summer. Like right now I'm not there because my job isn't really going on. But like I would only go home really for Christmas, but my parents try to come out at least once a year, each of them, and see me there. But I'm really close with my roommate, and her family lives in town, and they kind of took me under their wing. So like for all the holidays, I would go home with her. For like Thanksgiving, like her family invited me to come with them, or like even their Christmas celebrations and stuff like that. So really, like that's what I do. It's not, I don't go home very often, but it works for me. So.
Anybody else? I have a quick, y'all, I'm a lot older than the students, but I did go to an out-of-state school a long time ago, and I have the fail story. So I think it's important when I teach my freshman intro classes, I share this with them because I think people need to understand the wrong way to do it as well as the right way to do it, like our students are doing. So I went home every single weekend, and I went to school 7 hours from home, and I was the dummy that drove home every single weekend. And it made my college experience terrible. And I lasted that school 1 semester, and I transferred home. So I highly don't recommend that. Take these kids' experience, get involved. I think that's kind of been the key word that most of them have said that's made it home here.
That's, yeah, to kind of comment on exactly what you just said, I went home every weekend, and the first thing I did probably around fall break, which is in October, was I was looking at schools to transfer to in Texas. And luckily, which, you know, at 18, I was like, I don't have to listen to my parents anymore. I'm responsible. I'm a college student. And the first thing my dad told me was, are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, dang, maybe not. So I was like, you know what? Let me get involved for this semester, and I'll try out the rest of my freshman year. And I'm graduating from tech now, so we saw how that worked.
Yeah, that kind of segments us perfectly into the next question is, what advice would you give incoming out-of-state students? And so we touched on that, like trying to get involved in campus. It is a transition, and the more you put into the family, the more you get out of it. But anything else, any other tips or pointers that you guys have?
So for me, the most helpful thing that I was able to do was get involved in an LLC, so a living learning community, and so that brings basically everyone that joins it is in your major or interest based, and then you do events together, and then you also live in the same residence hall. And so that really grows the bond with everyone. And so I have some really, really good friends that came out of that experience, and then also connects you really close to your professors as well. So coming from out of state, not knowing anyone, it was super helpful to have that experience, make those friends, and then the connections with your professors as well.
To kind of go off of everything Glendon said, I was an RA in the residence hall he was in, where they had the LLC. And Glendon, I don't think I've ever told you this, but every time I talk about LLCs, I refer back to yours, because I'm like, they're just this cute little group of people, and they're always friends, and I always see them together. And that was 2 years ago. But I really do. I talk about your LLC all the time. That I highly recommend that too. Getting close within your residence hall. Way back when, 3 years ago, when I was a freshman at Tech, I was in a triple in NUT, which means there were 5 people in my room, which with all the social distancing, I don't think you'll have to endure, which so sorry. But that was definitely something, was getting to know my suite mates, my roommates, my RAs. Amanda, Glendon, and I, we all worked for Res Life. I was an RA for 2 years, and I highly recommend it. I've made connections with my residents, and RAs really do want to be a resource for you. So I think being an out-of-state student, really just kind of create a bond with your RA. They'll help you the best that they can. And I mean, I just kind of recommend that. And get involved, obviously.
Yeah, a little more of like personal advice, I guess I would say, is to just give yourself grace, because you're about to go through so much change that it can be overwhelming at first if you try to compare yourself to how others are doing, or compare your performance to how your performance was in high school or what you've been used to, because it's going to be a completely different experience. And from my experience, it's been nothing but positive, but I know that there are a lot of people who get into bad studying habits or things like that to where it affects their performance and overall GPA. But definitely just like give yourself freedom to learn, you know.
Good deal. So yeah, I think what the theme is here is really don't be afraid to step out, and getting involved is going to be really important. And then also don't be afraid to just drive around the town. I know it took me, I don't know, a month to be able to not have to use my GPS to get to the Walmart from my apartment. So yeah, just take a few chances, and it really does, you start to see more and more the connections you start building. And you'll just, one day you'll just look around and you'll see a whole community of people you've connected with. So, and speaking of connections, if you've joined other sessions, you've seen this already, but I'm going to show you again. We're going to be launching our Go to ATU app. And within this app, there's going to be some features like our Going to ATU checklist. So there are tons of things going on all the time, but this is a checklist that is supposed to help you stay on track to your path to ATU. And there's also going to be like the tech wall. And within that, you can kind of find your fellow out-of-state students, and there's an option to like connect with them, pretty much like a Facebook friend request. And you could start talking to them even before you get to campus. So you can start building out your network and like kind of reduce those nervous feelings before you even get to the school. So just be monitoring your email address, because we're going to be sending out all the information at the end of the week for this app. So it'll be a great tool for you guys to use. So I wanted to spotlight that. And also, guys, do you have any questions? We're getting close on time. That's why I also wanted to spotlight that, because like we didn't have a lot of time today, but we can stay connected through there. But any questions really fast about advice or anything from our speakers that you have? And my speakers, this is time for your final advice or well wishes. Feel free to close us out.
I mean, I would say just have fun. I know that's really basic, but have fun. Like, enjoy what you're doing. Don't hang out with people that aren't going to bring you anything but joy.
Amanda, I love your positivity.
Thanks, Gab.
I guess one thing that I have is don't be afraid to get involved and don't be afraid to try out different things. Joining a club doesn't mean you're set in there for 4 years. I went to one PRSSA meeting and I paid my dues and I'm a member for however, but I've been to one meeting. So, you know, I'm not like locked in or anything like that. But definitely which that's a journalism club thing. It's not like a normal whatever. Don't be afraid to join things. Greek Life was the first thing I joined, and I know registration just opened up for that. So if you have any questions, I mean, I'm the director of recruitment, so I feel like that's my job to kind of recruit a little bit. But just don't be afraid. There are social media pages for almost every organization on campus. Don't be afraid to follow them. Get information. If you have any information, DM them. People are likely to answer questions.
All right, well, good deal. Guys, thank you so much for joining this session. That's all we have time for, and I hope that you continue to join sessions for the rest of the week. So, bye everyone.